Oh, well, hello. We didn't see you there. Uh,
When did you get here?
we saw you there.
Yeah, we for
I
sure
love
saw
to
you
I
there.
love to do one of my favorite films is Dodgeball, and I just love it when Dwight Goodman comes down the stairs with the dictionary. Oh, I didn't see you there, Kate. You caught me. I like to break a mental sweat too. It's a classic line, man, but that's not what we're here to talk about. As you can see behind us, we pointed it out. We're in here, man. We were in the movie. You might have missed it. We're actually in the movie poster, and we actually got that movie poster from the movie Scary Movie. That's what we're here to talk about.
That's what we're here to talk about. Took us long enough.
Yeah, and I'll tell you what, I do have some thoughts on this very interesting piece. I'll be as
I hope
succinct as
so.
possible. But of course, ladies first, right? We are talking about Scary
Ooh,
Movie. This is
ladies
a
first. Ladies
continuation
first.
of the franchise. This is sort of a soft reboot, if you will. And at first, I didn't quite understand what was going on because we saw a lot of the characters back in this, and I'm like, they all died. How are they in this? But they did it with Scream. And so then once I actually am in the theater and I'm looking at it, I'm saying, oh, okay, I get it now.
Hmm.
So in order to bring all the people back, they had to sort of reboot it, and our dogs agree. So that's basically what this was. So this was a soft
Yeah.
reboot of the franchise, sort of resets the timeline, if you will, and allows them to continue on. The Waynes are back in it. I think they had maybe three-quarters of the Waynes family involved in this film, top to bottom. Didn't realize there
But
was that many Waynes.
they did mention, no, there wasn't that many Waynes in there, but they did mention all of the other films.
Yes,
They
yes.
mentioned, like, oh, but you were the killer. How are you? Like, they mentioned all of it.
Which I loved, which
Yeah.
I appreciated. But overall, what are you thinking about Scary Movie?
Overall, it's weird, right? Because there's a familiarity
Sure.
that you're like, I know these people, I'm comfortable with them, but much like the other movies, I think I'm just a little too old for this type of humor. Um, the sex humor, the gross, over the top. There was a scene where they had kids playing with like a little girl held like some fake testes. Um, that's not funny. It's a kid. It's a
Right,
kid.
right.
I don't think that anything sexual and children in the same scene is funny. It's not funny at all. So that to me was bothersome. And then I feel like at least there in the other movies there was I think Scary Movie 2 was way raunchy too. I think if I'm remembering correctly. Which one was the one where it came out with the exorcism in the beginning? Was that Scary Movie 2?
I believe that is the case.
I
Yes.
thought that was gross too. So I kind of knew it was kind of going to be hit and miss for me. There were some things about it that I liked. I felt like they had a missed opportunity with the movie Sinners. I feel like Sinners was such a great hit, and they touched on the Sinners thing, but I felt like it could have been more of a Sinners movie than Scream, since they have done Scream. I think they could have still had Ghostface in it, but I felt like they could have played more on on Brenda and Ray being synonymous with those two characters, and how they ultimately turned into vampires.
Mhm.
I would have loved for them to turn into vampires and been vampires at the end. They had Tuesday, and other than her having two braids, what was Wednesday about her? I felt like that was a real big missed opportunity. Wednesday's a great character. That girl should have been dark and weird like Wednesday. And that would have actually really played into that a lot more if she was weird. And when they were killing her, was like, is that all you got? Because she is like Wednesday, who wouldn't have cared if someone was stabbing her. So I feel like that was a big missed opportunity because I don't know why you'd call her Tuesday and give her two braids if that's the only thing about her that was like Wednesday, was
Mhm.
just the braids and the name. So I don't know, like I didn't feel. I know you loved when they did the FTK. You know, I know you loved that. So there was some moments that it was cool, but overall, like I wouldn't sit through it again. I was just. I think that I even told you I was not excited about seeing it at one point because I was worried it was going to be a little too raunchy. Um, you know, like we watched I'm Gonna Get You Sucker the other day, and I felt like they did a real good job with being spoofy without just being gross. And if you have to just be gross to try to get laughs, I think those are cheap thrills. And I don't think that stuff is as funny. I don't think potty humor is as funny. So for me, I didn't love
Say
it.
that the first two scary movies were the best of the bunch. My favorite being Scary Movie 2. That one really, I think, hit the mark, hit its stride, especially with Little Hand. I loved everything about that film. It flowed very nicely. It wasn't all over the place. And I think the missing ingredient here for this particular one is that it was not directed by Keenan Ivory Wayans like the first two were. That is something that you can clearly see when he has his hand in something, when he is producing it, he is directing it. It has a different feel. Because one thing I remember his brothers were jokingly always saying about him is, "We got to find the funny. Where's the funny? Where's the funny?" And he's that guy that knows how to find the funny. As you know, with A Living Color, one of our favorite films that I love to quote, A Low Down Dirty Shame. I just love quoting that film. It's just a Keenan Ivory Wayans je ne sais quoi that he has. He has this touch when it comes to filmmaking that I feel this one missed. For me, I can appreciate the fact that it was a soft reboot, but I also felt like it was a little, I hate to say it, a little directionless. I felt like it was just different pieces. And the thing about
Mhm.
filmmaking is obviously you have a script and you film on different days, so forth and so on. But this just felt like different pieces that just kind of got put together. And we're hoping that it makes some logical sense at the end. And for me, it didn't quite get there. It definitely had some moments, some lines. Like I love, I ain't the one. You know,
Yeah.
I love that. And the FTK, them kids. You know, I say that all the time. Them kids, not the actual word, but you know.
Cuss them kids.
Yes, exactly. That's just hilarious to me. But with Little Hand, honestly, Chris Elliott, I'm a fan of his, have been for many, many years. He wasn't funny in this. Not
Right.
like not even remotely funny.
Yeah.
And that was a problem for me because in my mind, I'm seeing this guy and this character, and on the poster, he's there, the trailer, I'm like, okay, we're involving some Little Hand. And he had that whole scene, my germs, you know, and even though he kind of said it, I think once, but that entire scene, well, you really just gotta know the anatomy of a turkey,
Right,
and
right, right.
you know, you just gotta
Mhm.
get in there and
Yeah.
just stuff the, you know, I mean,
Yeah.
he there was just there was comedy there
Yeah.
that was missing from his character, and that was upsetting. I remember watching the reboot of Ghostbusters with the ladies. So with the reboot that you had with Melissa McCarthy, you have an all-female cast of Ghostbusters and all stars in their own right. But like I was saying, two missed opportunities. One, not having these ladies be the daughters of the original cast members. That
Mhm.
just did not make any sense to me. And it could have worked perfectly. And two, bringing in the original cast members as completely different people, that was a problem because you had, well, I don't want to say Peter Venkman, but you know what I mean. You just
Right, right.
you when you think of Ghostbusters and Bill Murray, you just think of Peter Venkman, and he was a very lovable, likable character. But in that reboot, he was not. He was
Mhm.
actually a jerk. He was actually very unlikable,
Like his real self,
perhaps.
from what we hear.
But either way, in the minds of the viewers that have been going with this film series since 1984, to have this big departure from that, it just was, huh? Like it was a very hard
Which is
reset.
why when they did it right, we were like, "Yes!
Precisely.
Yes!
Paul Rudd,
Yes!"
absolutely goaded in those two films. So that's what I felt about this when I'm talking about Chris Elliott's character. We've had Scary Movie 2 out for many, 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 many years. We've seen it several times on television, and every time I watch it, it just never gets
Mhm.
old, and that wasn't the case here. So I will simply say, overall, I can see how people in the secular world would think this is a rousing entertainment thing, but for us, because we are not necessarily like that. We are people of faith, and because of that, this was a little bit of a tough swallow, if you will,
A raunch fest.
which is something that we're not acclimated to like we used to be back in the day. So I'm trying to watch it objectively
Yeah.
as somebody that went to film school and say, is this something that I think is as good and stands up to the previous films, Scary Movie 1, Scary Movie 2. I can't speak for the other ones because after Keenan Ivory Wayne's departure, things
I disagree.
a little, I think, a little weird.
Was I want to say that the one with Charlie Sheen to me was hilarious. I think Charlie Sheen was the perfect person to play it straight but stupid at the same time. I felt like what they did with Signs was really, really good. That was really, really funny. Like I really enjoyed that one when Brenda was in the coffin and then dead, and then they were still punching her. But I mean,
It definitely had its moments, for
that
sure.
movie actually made me laugh, like, laugh hard in the theater, and this one did not. At any point did I, like, laugh out loud, and I really thought that with Sinners and the other movies that have come out since then, like, they did a quick cameo of a few, but that they really had a whole new set of scary movies that they could have worked in, and I think that you could have had a Ghostface in there without it being about him again. I think that was a bad call.
Yeah, I will say in regards to Sinners, that was also a missed opportunity. That was a huge, huge film, and they touched on it, and we had watched a trailer that had some lines and some scenes in that particular thing that didn't actually end up in the final theatrical release. And I'm looking at it going, okay,
Mhm,
that would have been much funnier than what they
mhm.
actually ended up using.
Yeah, especially because they also, in the trailer, mentioned Get Out and mentioned Nope. You have these amazing films,
Yep.
Get Out, Nope, Us. Between Get Out, Nope, Us, and Sinners, you should have had the bombest film that you could have you could have put those storylines together and just left Scream out of it. And I think that would have been a really, really, I mean, hopefully maybe if they do another one, they will, but I was disappointed for sure.
Yeah, and honestly, the sex scene that was in this, I didn't think it was as funny as the previous sex scenes that they used, like with Tori Spelling and even Anna Faris's character. I felt like
No,
those
that was
scenes.
gross.
Well, I'm not saying they weren't gross, but what I'm saying is the scenes themselves carried differently than the scene did in this one. I felt like the scene had the funny. I feel like Keenan Ivory Wayne's touch in those films, he really was able, regardless of the raunch, I'm saying overall,
Mhm.
he was able to find the funny
Not the Tori
that
Spelling one, that's funny. The one with Anna Faris, that with the
this
second one.
particular one just did not, in my opinion, find the funny. And I was really comparing it to the first two. Not to say that Charlie Sheen's one wasn't funny. It definitely had some good moments in there for sure. But for me, I think it paled in comparison to the first two. And if you're really going to do it, and you brought back all the Wayans again, right out of the gate, Keenan Ivory Wayans should have directed this. And I don't know if he's just out the game now because I know he was
Well,
a
he
writer
helped
on
write
this.
it.
I don't know if he's just like, I'm done. Like you see, like in certain movies, like you can't. He's retired. I can't do it. I can't. You can't put me
And I
back
don't
into
know
it. I
why
don't know.
Damon Wayans has never been in any of these. Damon Wayans has never been affiliated with any of these. The closest we got is getting Damon Wayans Jr. in this one. I just don't know why. I mean, he was in I'm Gonna Get You Sucker.
Mhm.
I don't know.
So overall, I will say that we were disappointed with the way that this film was presented and the overall direction of the film. I just felt like it was directionless. to some degree. I just really did not feel that cohesion like I did in the first two films. Overall, I would say this did not work for me.
And I think that we do appreciate the opportunity to have this kind of thumbnail, though.
Yeah, no, this is fantastic.
That's great.
This is fantastic. That's what we're going to be using. So let us know what you think in the comments. Did you think this was a good film? Did you feel this was a good successor to the previous scary movies? Was it as good or worse? Just the same? We can't wait to hear what you have to say about it. That's it for us. We'll catch you all next time.
Thanks for stopping by.